Hey guys, welcome to another podcast. On this one, we have Adrian Meus on our show, and unfortunately, the first minute to 2 minutes was cut out for the audio, so we're just going to jump straight into it. Hope you guys enjoy.
I listened to the last one on the way home the river, and I hit him up, and I said it was really cool just to drive home and listen to you guys banter on about kneeboarding, the history, and everything you guys have been doing. I might get me in on that. So here we are.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So it's a very broad question, and I guess you could just kind of like start wherever you want to. But like, how did you get into kneeboarding? Like, how old were you? Like, kind of give me like your life story on like where you started with everything for kneeboarding.
So my grandfather, he has a place on the River Murray, waterfront property. Shacks on stilts right on the edge of the river, and as a kid I'd always go there with him on school holidays or long weekends and stuff like that, and we'd always have next door neighbours with V8 ski boats. Most of them were Sparkle back then, and everyone would be skiing or kneeboarding, and we didn't have nothing. All we had was like a dinghy with a 6 horsepower Johnson, I think it was, and I used to just sit there. I used to have my fishing rod in the water, and I just wish that I could, my family would have a boat, or I'd have a boat, and I could go kneeboarding. And so what I'd do, every now and then I'd call my grandfather in to tow me with a boogie board behind his 6 horsepower dinghy, which is a little rip. You might have seen it in some of my edits. And that's how it first started. There was a couple neighbours, they took me here and there, so I reckon up until I was about 21, I had maybe 10 shots at kneeboarding behind a boat, and I thought, if I become a boat builder, maybe I can build my own boat and I can go kneeboarding. And so I started that when I was maybe 18, 19, and then about 21, I hooked up with my cousin. He was a bit older at the time, and he had a fish ski boat with a 75 horsepower Mercury. And what we did was we went and got a high pole from the ski shop, and I cut a hole in the floor, and we put ratchet straps to the front and the back, and we started our kneeboarding. And we'd go on weekends. We'd finish probably up in winter time. We wouldn't go during winter. And there was probably 2 years that I was riding with him here and there. My first board was a Striker, HO Striker, the pink one with the green dragon. And then my second board was the Joker. And probably, I don't know, I was about 23 to 24, 25. I didn't really have much opportunity. My cousin stopped going. And then he come back on the scene and he said, let's get ourselves a V8 ski boat. And so we put our money together and we bought this V8 ski boat, Glitter Flake, it was Glitter Flake. And we put our time and money in it. We fitted it with a high pole and we started kneeboarding. And that was probably about 25. He got out of it about when I was 27, and I bought him out of the boat. And there was no one really that I was going kneeboarding with. But I remember this one time, I was with my cousin, we were kneeboarding, and there was this other boat. And I don't know what I was doing. I think I was doing Air 360s, and I bailed. And this boat pulled up, and there was all these young guys in there, and they said they were from this Kneeboard SA. And they said, what do you know? What tricks do you know? And I said, not much, and this and that. I just do it as a casual thing, And they said, you should, come out and ride with us. Anyway, so my cousin got off the scene. I wasn't really riding with anyone, and I went on the Kneeboard SA webpage, and I went through the photos, and I found this guy's name that hit me up, and I recognised him, and I called them. And I said, let's hang out and maybe go for a ride, which we did. And that was probably the start of us riding. It was probably the start of the freestylers. And from there, we were always riding on weekends. I think it was the start of the Kickers. He told me I should maybe go on social media. And I was dead set against social media, but I joined up Facebook. And it's probably when I started adding all you guys. And then I seen this whole new world of kneeboarding, because all I ever knew was this VHS of Teddy B, B.B. Anderson, and Tony Claridge. That's all I ever knew. And so I've added all you guys, and I seen what you guys were doing, and I think that was the start of me wanting to put out my social media content and joining the party. And here we are today.
That's awesome. That is cool. I remember those kneeboard SA guys, and they had like one video edit. Like, God, that was like 2006, 7, or is it earlier than that, 2003 maybe?
Like 2005.
2005? Okay, so maybe like 6 or 7 by the time I saw it, and I was just amazed. I remember being amazed by that edit that they put out.
Yeah, I seen the same.
Yeah.
And that was another side of kneeboarding. I never seen anything else. I never seen flips or anything, just the VHS of what Teddy was doing. So to see all this, it was like, oh, right, there's this new ball game, and, I can do it if I try, and that's what the start. I reckon I was maybe 26, 27 when I landed my first front roll. Up until then, it was just spins, 180s. I used to come in blind and do 180s, and then on bounce do a 360.
Yeah.
But up until then, yeah.
That's cool.
And who was the rider that you hooked up with?
His name was Ben David Keith.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was riding with Mark Gray, Lee Ward, and I think there was Jeremy Heaslip. And so we hooked up for a bit, and I met a whole heap of people, and we made the name up as freestylers, which sort of represented a freestyle of riding. No rules, no regulations, whatever boat you got, however you want it, let's just get out there and ride. And that's what that name represented. And, we'd get all the kids, because I was in the township, Morgan Township, it was all shackies with, young children, and they'd be looking up to what we're doing. Like, we were hitting a jump in the middle of the river, And so, what's this freestyle stuff? We were selling stickers, making T-shirts, jumpers. They even got up to you guys too, didn't it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Want me to go get my jacket and my shirt? I could change quick.
Yeah, do it.
Should I go change?
I would have thought about it. I would have put it on.
I know, me too. I was thinking the same thing. Oh, man, why am I not wearing it?
Yeah.
So
it's been an awesome journey.
That's cool. What was the question you were going to ask, John?
It's obvious that you've been attracted to the water all your life. You loved the water all your life. And now hearing your story, it sounds like you also love boats from a very young age. And now you're a very talented boat artist.
Thank you.
I don't know what you call your industry, but you reconstruct broken boats. And one who worked with fiberglass knows how difficult that is. So I have a huge amount of respect for what you do and how you do it and how well you do it.
Thank you.
At what age do you remember when you just knew you wanted to work with boats? What was that?
Well, I don't know. I would have been early teens. I really wish my family had a boat, because we had the shack and everyone else had shacks and boats, and I think, if we can't have one through the family, well, I'm just going to go and build myself one, and that's what I did.
Yeah, it was interesting when you said, one of the options was build one.
Yeah, and on it's not finished. It's still in the shed now. But it was the start of me going home and learning my trade more. I think just doing your trade on its own, you're just going to be like everyone else. But taking it home and putting that extra time and effort into it, you've got a passion about it and you're going to learn more. And I think that's what really worked off for me. I was able to buy second-hand boats and do them up, use them to go skiing, and I ended up buying the Nautique. It was an import from America, and I'd done that up and put ballast tanks in and fitted towers, and, everything was just so I could go for a ride because, I love the river, I love the boats, and I was passionate about kneeboarding. So it's all three in one, and now I've got my own place on the river too, and I put the time and effort into everything I do. Whatever it is that I do, I give it 110%.
And I see that.
Yep.
I see that in your posts. I
Thank
have
you.
a lot of admiration for you.
Thank you, Ted. It means a lot. and it's real special to be able to speak to you and you guys tonight. Because I've followed all you guys, and I watched you, Teddy, on a VHS, and to one morning to wake up to you asking me to join your O'Brien Sozo team. That's just like overwhelming, and especially at my age, because it was happening when I was 27 into my 30s, and usually most people are, their athletic side of it's really sort of gone by then. But I don't know. Tommy, you're still riding. There's a whole bunch of old guys still riding. I got a lot of respect for Tommy too. I think to be a husband, a father of 2 kids, a school teacher, to do your Sanger stuff, and to ride at a top level like you do. I really have to give you admiration there, mate.
No, you said it. Once you're passionate about something, it doesn't matter. You're just gonna do it, no matter what. So I don't know. To me, it's just life, I guess.
Yeah, it just happens. That's what you want to do, and you go and do it. And, that's it. That's who you are. That's it.
Yep.
There's nothing else there.
Well, Tom, good on you, mate.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Did I get that right, Adrian?
Yeah.
John, I feel like you got cut off in the middle of that. Were you going to ask a question?
I can't recall what it was, but no worries. I think I covered
To our viewers, it's really, really early here in the United States and evening in Australia. So you can probably tell that the guys that are real sleepy and one guy, Adrian, who's awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started early today, so it's been a long day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got up.
Probably say what time everyone's at. So me and Ted were at a little bit past 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then
I'm 10 to 10 p.m.
Yep, and I got up at 5:30 to make this happen on a Saturday morning.
Oh, good man.
But
all for the love, eh?
It's
all for the love, mate.
I know, man. It's one of those deals where it's easy to wake up for something like this, but waking up for work at 6 o'clock or whatever is 10 times harder. So this was an easy one. So
next question.
Who wants to go?
Do a shout out. Just if your before and after pictures of the boats that you repair is amazing.
Thank you.
Keep posting those because those are just amazing.
Did you see the latest one, the Nortec that I done with the metal flake?
The metal flake.
Yeah.
Metal flake is extreme for guys out there who don't know what goes into metal flake. It is extremely difficult. It's a whole other level, and it blows me away.
A lot of homework to do that job, but yeah, it come up great. I'm happy about them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, anyone out there, go check it out. It's impressive.
Thank you. Thanks, Ted.
So, Adrian, what was like the first big trick that you learned, and what's your favorite trick that you've learned since you've started kneeboarding? Apparently, only at 21, which blows my mind, actually.
Yeah. So I only started landing flips when I would have been 27, but so the best one, I've probably lost that one. I've been trying to work to get it back. The front roll combo, that was that's sweet. That's a really sweet trick. When you pop out on that second one, you feel that stoke. The side out of the layout, the 360 combo, that's a great feeling landing that.
Yeah.
What was the first question, Tom?
Yeah, what was your first like big trick that like to you stands out in your mind that you landed?
Oh, the front roll, because I spent so much energy and effort trying to get it, and I just couldn't get it. And I started throwing it. Like, I got it here and there, but it was two-handers. Then I started throwing it with one hand, but I'd throw it with the wrong hand. And what happened was I ended up learning the dizzy critter while I was trying to learn the front roll, because I was throwing it with the wrong hand and throwing it to the wrong hip. So, yeah, the dizzy critter was easy. The front roll was hard.
And for people that...
And that's behind a boat with a small weight, like I'm running at 50 foot, the boat's nothing compared to what you had. So, like, you're throwing that thing at high energy. You're really low to the wake. So, a lot of effort.
Mm-hmm. So, for people that don't know, could you explain what the dizzy critter is?
So it's a front roll. Basically, you land it backwards, but you throw it with the opposite hand to what you do. So I come from left to right. If I throw my front roll, I'll throw it with the left hand. But if I'm going to throw a dizzy, I'll throw it or I'll huck it with my right hand, and it comes out, and you just bring it back to the hip, and you got it. Yeah.
Cool.
I've seen Shannon Griffin. First time I ever seen it thrown with Shannon Griffin. He had like a video he put together for a competition run or something. I think you were there too, John.
I was.
Yeah, he had a bit of hip hop, and I seen that dizzy critter, and I was like, that looks wicked. Just the way you throw it looks wild. Yeah.
He's so good at those. He just whips it like around his head and comes right around.
Yeah, and it's nice and open, it's laid out, and it just looks wild. And I think it's a good trick if you can throw it really big and you had the wake, I think it's a good one to start learning maybe the front moby as well.
Definitely.
Sure.
So all those rails you built, were those all you, or did you have help building all those rails? Because I've seen all your videos, and like I see your setup, and I'm just like, oh, I want to ride that. It looks pretty.
So the timber rail with the winch was a group of us. It was the freestylers when we were first together. That was behind my grandfather's place in like a little, we call it like a lagoon. It'd feed off the river. And we knocked in some permapine posts and we got plywood for the top. That was probably the coolest rail. So we had Dylan Ellis, Stefan Hustler, some of the guys you probably know, Stefan Mazzio, Andres Brissa. There's a few other guys that helped us knock posts in and put it all together. The kickers, I pretty much, the first one I built with Andre and a Kiwi, and then everything else I built pretty much on my own. And that floating slider, I built that at home. That took me some time, eh? But yeah, I had more time back then doing all that stuff.
Yeah, the small kicker that came after the rail, it looked like it was in really shallow water. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's waist deep. It's waist deep, and we barely pull a flip off, but we always pull 360s and 540s. I pulled a few 540s off of it.
That's
yeah. They were cool times there. Because we had the boat out the front, and then we had the big kicker in the river, and then we had the winch park out the back. And we managed to get that in the water ski magazine. I reached out to the water ski magazine. I said, you're always covering the same guy. Maybe we could do something else. And they said, what do you want to do? And it's my first opportunity and my only opportunity I ever had in water ski magazine. And I took the time to put the whole boys in there. And I think it was like 10 of us. And we done a write-up on all the boys, what our tricks were. And, a few fighters on the slider and the kicker in that creek. And that was great.
Yep, I remember it. That was cool. For sure. For sure.
Hey, with that winch, the out back, do you guys have any snakes or any issues like that?
Yeah, the snakes are there, but they're pretty scared of you, so they'll run away. But most of us are scared because if you do get bitten, you could lose your life or get very sick.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy. Ted, you're not too much better either, though, man.
We get it done.
What about the enforcer? Tell me about that. You had a part in helping with that, right?
Yeah, well, Ted reached out and said was sending a couple boards over. I was like, yeah, cool. And I rocked up and there's 2 boxes under my veranda. One was the Zozo with the slider base, and there was another board there. But he said that ride it and tell me what you think, see where we can take it, and that's what we did. I took it to the park, took it behind the boat. I got Shane Shannon to ride it a few times. And I said, Nate, we could add some more here, try this. And I think then you got it in the end and gave the tick approval. Mm-hmm. And it rocks. And that's, it's a good memory. I was very lucky, very fortunate to be able to have that opportunity. And it's a good board. It's fast.
So fast.
Yeah, I like it.
I like fast.
I like it. It's a fun board.
I've been riding the Zozo behind the behind the boat, Zozo's great. It's effortless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Sozo I just feel like has a little bit more, since it has a little more width. It's a little bit more forgiving, and it has a little bit more pop, I think.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the Enforcer is a bit more further out, deeper landing.
Mm-hmm.
Not as forgiving.
Yep.
But it's a real aggressive ride. If you like aggressive riding, I like aggressive riding. It's great. Behind the park, it's wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you changing the graphics this season, Ted?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, or he doesn't know.
Yeah.
No, it is park board. The sharper edge. Yeah, typically your line is at a steeper angle, so you need that sharp edge. From the boat, it's not as steep, so you need the edge rolled up front on the entry.
Yeah.
So that's what you feel. The biggest difference is really how the water enters the wet surface. And
Yeah, I find it good on the slider. What about you, John?
I'm personally for like sliders, I'd rather be like riding the Sozo, but if I'm hitting like kickers or wakes, I'd rather jump on the Enforcer.
Yeah, right. It's funny how everyone's a little bit different, hey? It just, I guess it suits everyone's style a bit.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard vice versa. I think it's opposite for you, right, Tom?
Yeah, I think I like it for the sliders quite a bit, but I like everything, I guess. So I'm just happy to be kneeboarding.
Yeah.
So I'd hit sliders on whatever I could hit them on, you know. I'll take it.
For me, if anything, I would like to have more opportunity to go behind a bigger wake boat. That'd be much better for me. I'm sort of done with the smaller boat.
Yeah.
I rode that G a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. That was fantastic. I was smiling the whole time because it's just so easy. It just makes everything easy.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, the 1 or G23?
Yeah, the 23.
Such a good boat.
Yeah, epic. Still room for massive improvement because I'm still adjusting, because it's a different ball game, I guess. Bigger wake, slow everything down. Maybe longer rope, but yeah.
Yep.
I did enjoy it. You're lucky, Tom, you got that Stanger. That's a nice wake. Looks really nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. With that little 215. It's a little boat, but it does pretty well for what it's, for what it needs to do. So a little easier to move around, a little easier to store, and still does pretty good. So I like it. That's for sure.
Just a big season ahead, boys. Starting to warm up next few weeks. Start getting out there.
It's coming.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be like 48 degrees today, you guys. Can't believe it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, should we tell them, John, what it's like in Central Florida right now?
Oh, it's what's the temperature out right now?
It's nice.
Yeah, it's
perfect.
You guys should move to Orlando.
Does it ever get too hot there?
Never.
So it's pretty hot.
Like in the water
and just like a hot tub, and you get out and it's still hot like a sauna. It's just nonstop hot. But I mean, kneeboarding all year round. So I'm happy for it.
Yeah, we get a pretty long season. I'll probably miss out 3 months. That's 12 weeks. But you can throw a wetsuit on and still go for a ride. So we've got it pretty good here. It does get hot in summer, really hot.
Yeah. So which months do you miss out on generally?
So after April, May, June, July, August I might pop back in the water, maybe once. September they'll probably see me a couple of times.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey.
One thing I am really good to see you do at Adrian is like I can see you're passing the handle off to like other people and like helping work down there, and it looks like you're really like generating a bigger community in kneeboarding down there. So I want to say a big thank you for doing that. And
Thank you.
Is there anybody we should be like looking out for? Like who's on your radar? Like for who's like killing on a kneeboard, who's going to be good like in the future?
Well, I really like Mac McPherson. We got him on the team now. The stuff we're starting to see from him is really a lot of high end stuff, a lot of energy. He's got a lot of energy, and he's got no fear. That's a big thing. So I think in the next couple of years we'll see some big tricks from him. And that's Sam Dowden, I think Dowden. He's riding for HO. He's got some big stuff, big air. But I like that he's putting out a lot of social media content, and I think that's where it is. I think that we're a small community, but through social media we're a big community, and I think that's where the power and push is with us guys going through social media, putting that content out. It doesn't need to be the greatest thing. It doesn't need to be the biggest hit. It can be the repetitive stuff too. It's just throwing that stuff out. You're out there, you're doing it, you're putting the stoke out there, and people see that, and they're going to, go, wait, let's go for a ride. That's what I think, because kneeboarding's always going to be a sport that's just there. Like, we don't have any competitions here apart from what I've maybe put together in the last 5-6 years. We've had a few kicker things and stuff like that. But the sport survives, and it's because the children and all the young people and the new people that come to the sport. Kneeboarding's that one of those things you can grab that board, and it's pretty easy, other than like a single ski or a wakeboard. Taking it to the next level is another thing. I think it's like beginner, intermediate, and then there's extreme kneeboarding. I think there's that intermediate, novice. You know where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that you mentioned earlier in your story. You're like, oh yeah, you weren't like social media, and I felt like I was very much the same way when it first came out. I was like, and I'm too into that. And then I saw what like Frankie was doing for the sport, by doing that, and then I saw what you were doing for the sport by doing that. Like, you both motivated me to kind of like step on my game for social media. So also thank you for that.
Thanks, no worries. And I love seeing your stuff, getting it out there. It's great. I think that's what we got to do. We got to put it out there. A lot of credit to Frankie too. He doing it at his age and putting all this stuff out like that. Keeping the stoke live. It's a hard gig, especially when you're getting older. I know I hurt for 3 days after riding that Jeep, so I can only imagine how everyone else feels. I call it kneeboarders flu. What do you call it?
No, I like that. I think it works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just call it being sore and try not to whine too much.
Yeah, so you just call it kneeboarders flu.
Yeah. What do you think was your hardest trick that you learned, Adrian? What was the hardest trick for you to learn?
Like I said, I think the front roll. I just didn't know where I was, and then I got it a few times, but I never nailed it. Now I can say, I'll go and I'll nail it. But that opened up everything else, After that, I got the dizzy, then I got the somersault, then I got the back roll. Everything started coming easy.
So, did you say, maybe you said this already, was that your first like invert that you learned was the front roll?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep. My first invert that I learned was the front somersault, so it's kind of weird that was the first one I learned, but it just made the most sense.
I had trouble with that because you guys might have seen we had Danny Hullawall and his partner come over for 2 weeks, which was pretty cool to have another kneeboarder from across the globe come and stay at me pop's place. And he throws a front flip so well, and he was trying to teach. I just couldn't get it. I was whacking my hand. I had this sore arm after.
Yeah, Danny's a legend. He's so good with those front flips.
Oh, they're perfect. Teddy, you got a good front flip.
Yeah, need to practice that one.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
We'd have to get those old bones out on the water again, though. That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's for sure.
What was your first day? What was your first trick, Ted?
My first trick?
Yeah.
Was a wake back.
Yep.
And I fell.
And high end trick?
High end trick? Back somersault.
Yeah. It's a hard edge when you catch that front edge. It hurts.
Yeah, I did it many times.
Yeah. I think I got a good video on Instagram catching that front edge and opened me right up.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good.
But they look fantastic when you throw them perfect. If you throw them perfect, they look really good.
Yeah. I think I had better backflip back then than I did throughout my career. Like the very first ones were so square and straight on. And then when I learned the roll, your shoulders come around to the boat.
And then you start rolling them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started doing that. Yeah, and that ain't look as good.
That happened with me with the front somersault. Kind of turned into a front roll, and now I can't break that habit again. It sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe this year I'll get it back. We'll see. What was that, John?
Just keep coming.
Very much the same with me and back somersaults. They always roll.
Yep.
Now I can't do it myself.
My back ones I'm pretty good with, but my front ones roll out now. So, what was your first trick, John? Your first big invert trick that you did?
Probably a back roll. Mentioned in the other podcast, it was a super crappy one. Just me leaning forward, arms in, and just rolling out the side. No pop, all the way.
That's crazy.
What you got any ideas for what you're going to try and do this season, Johnny? You're going to be creative?
So I got a lot of ideas. I don't want to say like out loud what the ideas are, just because like I don't want to like go. Dang, I said on that podcast I got to do it now. So I have a bunch of ideas. We're moving setups around at OWC all the time, so I'm going to see if I can talk to people about doing certain things and hoping to drop. Fingers crossed. I will say this: I do want to drop some kind of a video part by the time we all go to West. So hoping on that. We'll see how that works out.
Cool.
It'd be great to see some edits.
So I've
seen the little minute edits.
So it's on record that John's going to put an edit out this year. Is what he just said by August 15th.
Just spoke it into.
What about you, Tommy?
You know what? I've been thinking a lot about, and I don't even know. Like, I've been thinking about combo spins because of Adrian's combo spins. Like your layout to 360, and then also the stuff that Spencer used to do back in the day. He used to do that layout to 5, and I've been thinking a lot about that and trying to parlay that into my riding a little bit more, I think. Because I used to do combos 10 years ago, and then I kind of got out of it, and you kind of want to get them back, but I don't know.
I've talked to you about this a couple of times.
Oh, God, endless, dude. Endless.
I'm all for combos. I think it's just fantastic seeing you just, pop and do another trick. High energy.
So.
And the audience loves it.
Mm-hmm.
You post anything that's the olden days where it's a combo and stuff, the audience goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd like to see some more combos from a lot of riders.
So what's your favorite combo to do, and what's your favorite combo to watch?
Favorite combo to watch was, who's that rider that you've got in Florida? Nicholas Soles, when he done the front combo. He done the three. That's hot. That's intense. And I do like watching the layout to back roll. That's a high energy trick, and you've got to really pull that board around. I really like seeing that. And if you see a spin on a bounce, I think that's pretty cool, especially if it's all, you're off the water and you pass your handle completely all the way around. It takes a lot of energy to do that. So I like seeing that. Yeah, I think combo is where it's at. Let's see some more combos this season, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's that 360 is kind of a combo that you don't necessarily see a lot of. And most of the time it's an invert combo, So that's why that's kind of why I've been thinking about it, honestly. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe.
I find it easy on the layup because you just the high energy on that bounce. It's just to whip it around. It's just easier to do that than just to throw the layout or the side out.
And you have so much line tension when you land too, that you have line tension to pull against.
And I'd like to maybe pull that onto the triple, so maybe do the layout or the side out to the 360 and then maybe do another 360. I think I can maybe pull that off, but you need a bigger wake. I think there's enough tension in the rope to be able to do it.
So there's a lot of dynamics going there. In my opinion, that spin is harder because you're literally bouncing and you got to create a lot of that energy to get off the water. Where a invert, you come down, you can set an edge, get deeper in the water, set up that line tension, so when it does get tight, you can pull yourself up and out of the water.
Yeah.
A lot more opportunity to get air off of something that you can set the edge and angle than something you come down and you're slapping the water and bouncing. So when you do those spins off the combos or spin off the layout, it blows my mind because it's a whole lot harder to
Thanks,
create
Ted.
that bounce.
Thank you.
Cool.
A lot of respect.
How about you, John?
Yeah.
Your favorite combo?
Okay, my favorite combo to watch would be Peter Perillo, double back roll to air roll. My favorite combo to do is none of them. I am so bad at them. I barely pulled off the combo one time. They're so difficult. So, like, I give you guys mad props. Like,
Yeah.
all of you, like, so bad at combos.
Yeah, I kind of agree. That's how I feel.
What's your favourite to watch, Ted? Kent throws a good front roll to front roll.
To front
A
roll,
really good one,
to
eh?
front roll, to front roll.
Well, when my body allowed me, my favorite was front into a front and you land backwards off the combo. And just love the feeling of the setup where you come down and you launch into your second somersault and that moment in time when you're floating and you just jam the handle to your hip.
And pull it around. And pull it
I
around.
just love that feeling of setting up that moment of time where you just whip it around.
Yeah. I get that feeling on the dizzy critter when you throw it and you get it real far out in the flats and then you get that bounce and you just hold it blind for a bit and you just bounce with it. It's just a really good feeling and you look behind and just you pull it around and away you go again.
And it's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, it's definitely a crowd pleaser. Wait, he just took that to blind. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
So, Adrian, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Adrian, you've seen Aerosol, right?
Yeah.
I've asked this with every kneeboarder we have on the podcast. What was your favorite section?
Oh, David Jennings.
Me too.
David Jennings, and who was the other one? He was a younger guy.
Michael Bradshaw?
Yeah, his section. Just his inverts and all that stuff was just real effortless and real big. I like that section too.
So good.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And I think yours is the same. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is also decent.
Yeah, it's like a butterfly hanging on the end of a rope.
I watch him ride a kneeboard. I'm like, okay, that's what kneeboarding should look like.
Yeah. And that's why I say combo. That's why I say combos. That's what kneeboarding should be about. You know, it's because we have that ability as a kneeboarder compared to other sports to be able to throw that extra trick. And so I think why shouldn't we? We should do it. Because it's definitely any combo is a crowd pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jennings, amazing combos. Jonathan, amazing combos.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, both McDonald's. Just the edge and angle, they just kept it going.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 in a row. That you see.
And really short ropes too. They're like riding like 53, 54 feet. You know, that blows you away. You know, and pulling off doubles and stuff. You know, it's crazy.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
A lot of high energy there.
Yeah.
I'll dig it. Yeah. About you, Tommy?
What about me? The combo deal?
No, favorite section of aerosol.
Oh man. Gosh, I don't know. I think it kind of had to change once I crossed paths with our local guys that were in there, Dan Henning. Then it kind of changed, but I think I think I was up there with the Michael Bradshaw part because he was young and I was young, and I kind of related to him being young, and plus that lowrider graphic still to me goes down as one of my favorite kneeboard graphics. The one with the orange like lava wave. I always loved that board, and that was at that time when I was really excited about the lowrider because that was the board on the market. That was like the cool board. But so I think his kind of stands out to me quite a bit. And then like those S bends that David Jennings does still blows my mind. I can't even understand that. So that goes up there. And then but then once I crossed paths with Dan Henning, then it was like, oh, I got to rewatch this section. And then it was that was a big deal for me. So it was pretty cool. So yeah, but. The tutorial at the end could have been my favorite section for a while too, because I was always trying to learn tricks from that. Anywhere I could get information on doing tricks, I was reading it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Great production.
Yep. What do you think?
How'd you go from riding plastic boards and behind boats with no towers to the glass boards and the towers? Did it change your game? Was it much easier?
Well, yeah, that was for me. That was '93, where I connected with Straight Line and we started Neptune.
Yeah.
Started that company and started fresh with a whole new approach, and yeah, that was a big leap.
Massive leap.
Yeah.
And made riding much easier for you.
Oh yeah, it opened the door to a lot more tricks, and yeah, that was a good time. It was a big.
Because I was watching that VHS, I remember you trying to throw doubles on the plastic boards, and you got to give credit to you, Teddy, trying to do that.
Yeah, it was back in the day.
Yeah. Have you ever hucked a double? Have you landed a double before, Ted?
No, I've never rode away from a double. No, the bounce would always kill me. So, I've seen it, I've felt it.
Yeah.
And it's such an elusive trick for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've touched it. You've touched it. You've felt it. Yeah.
Yeah. Many times, and just could never get past the bounce.
Well, massive credit trying to huck it on the plastic board. Massive credit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of guys that were doing it back then.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy, you gonna try and huck it behind the boat now that you've
Yeah.
tried behind the
I got kind of overcame that fear last year. I threw a couple behind the boat and went, okay, that's not really as bad as I expected it to be. So, yeah, I think I'll try some more. I'll put that on record. I'm going to try some more.
All right.
I'll at least have great videos to post of crashes. So, what was that, John?
You got to post crashes. Everyone loves the crashes. Don't be afraid to post the crashes.
Yep. John kind of cuts out on my end a little bit, so got to make sure that we're not talking when John wants to say something.
I did it.
Again, third time you've done that. Also, third time I haven't heard it. Okay, do it now.
Okay. You should do it on a giant plastic board like that.
No, I know. No. I do have some old ones still, but yeah. I don't know if it's because we have 4 people on or what, but John will cut out when multiple people are talking.
Yeah, nothing.
again.
Yeah, everyone's good on mine end, except you cut out a bit, Johnny.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, you have to give it credit. I am on the other side of the globe. We're doing this, which is pretty cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think was one of your has been or is one of your biggest challenges for kneeboarding, Adrian?
What do you mean, as riding or
As a career, as a sponsored rider? Maybe it's a trick, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not related to tricks or actually being on the kneeboard, but still related to.
What's the hardest? Trying to keep the stoke up, I guess, and not seeing so much stoke from others where I think they should be, putting the stoke out there. I believe in a lot in social media content, and it sort of disheartens me when I don't see fellow riders sort of putting that out there, because I feel they're not as passionate, and that's why we're here, because we're passionate about it. And that's why we're doing it for the companies that we do it for, and to get gear from companies. I feel that you have to give back, and I want to give back, and seeing some others not give back, and that's the problem.
Adrian, I'd love just to encourage you to just keep the fight, keep pushing, keep posting, keep doing what you're doing. I felt that way for years in the early '80s, the mid '80s. Had the strap company. I'm pushing out straps. I made a video, and then another video came out with Tony Claris and B.B. Anderson.
Yeah.
And I just kept pushing, and I just didn't feel like there was much passion. And then the aerosol production came out, and that was just like, for me, was like, finally, it's caught on. People get it, and that was like, just have patience. Keep doing what you're doing. It will happen.
Yeah,
there'll be another edit come out with like aerosol that will be for you like it was for me. Yeah,
no, definitely. That's all we can do is just keep doing what we do and push it out there and keep the stoke up. It's good seeing all you guys doing it as well. You with Johnny and Tommy really pushing some stoke out there the last couple of years. It's been great to see it.
Yeah.
And new things like the social media competitions. That was great, because that brought out a lot of riders that we never knew about it. And seeing people put out clips and little edits, that's fantastic. There's a lot of energy and effort to do that. Yeah. We should do it again.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
You guys in?
Get everyone together.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll help.
You gotta start somewhere. I did. I never even knew how to put an edit together, let alone take proper photos. But I learned because I wanted to do it, and they got better and better. And now, the edits are becoming really good together. So you got to keep trying.
Well, appreciate it, Brendan and Adrian. It means the world to me. It means the world to kneeboarding. I know a lot of kids are seeing the stuff that you're posting, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
How much longer of a season do you have, Adrian? I know when our season starts is when your season's kind of starting to end. So, how many more weeks or months do you think you got?
I've probably got 6 weeks that the water's still nice and warm, and then probably 6 weeks time I have to start putting the wetsuit on. So I'll probably drop a couple new sets in the next few weeks.
Cool.
I wanted to make it out to the park, that park I've been riding at the last couple of years, but I've been inundated with work at home at the moment, so it's been hard to get out there. It's a 45-minute trek, and, coming up the river, it's a 2-hour drive every Friday and then 2-hour drive every Sunday to go home, so there's a lot of effort there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Ted, you going to go for a board this year?
Probably. Yeah. It's time.
Yeah.
Put out something.
Yeah.
I haven't put out anything for a while. So
No, it was great. It was great seeing your stuff, putting your stuff out, and all the videos you put. When I first got with you and you were sending the personal videos, they were cool too. Yeah. Love to see that. More stoked.
Here's the challenge. There it is.
Yeah. Do you accept it?
Yeah, I'll accept it.
Okay.
Sounds good. What else do we want to talk about, guys? It's been just under an hour here. Anything else that we want to cover?
Where do we go? I think was what I said. Where do we go? What's the future?
Yeah.
I want to hear what you guys think. You know how I feel about everything and where we should be going. Where do you think we should be going? Maybe you go first, John, then you Tommy. And
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of discussed it over this entire podcast. Basically, what you said earlier is just sharing the stoke. Just not only like going out there and kneeboarding, which is great, but also like
lifestyle.
Pass the handle or social media.
Yeah.
Just like help grow that to others.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I think we can, like, the more content that we can create that doesn't go away, the better.
Yeah.
Whatever we could put out social media wise and YouTube wise, and even like, and we started doing it a little bit, but I think we all should try to do a little bit more of like making videos or even write-ups, even if they're blog type stuff or whatever, about like tricks, like how to do tricks, that people can go back and find, because like we've said, we're a small community, so we don't really have people in our neighborhoods or in our communities, our local communities, I should say, that can do these things with us. It's hard to find someone to go out and teach you how to do a trick. If we can find it online, then that might be a better way to keep people going. That makes sense?
That's how I seen it was done. I never knew all this stuff could be done until I seen it on social media and all you guys, all your photos and your edits that you were doing back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, you can do this stuff, and the stuff on YouTube as well. And like, wow, there are possibilities on the kneeboard other than what people do think. There's high end stuff, big stuff.
Yep, and starting at the beginning and just working our way up to making tutorials on the harder stuff eventually. We got to get through the easy stuff first, but a lot of times those are the things that are going to get the most views and the most likes, because there's that's the biggest demographic of kneeboarding. It's just the basics. So even if it's just one of us making a video on how to do a 360 or how to do a wake jump, like it seems kind of easy for some of us, but there's, like I said, there's a bigger demographic of non-invert riding kneeboarders that want to learn stuff. So I think we got to just keep continuing to put stuff out and put permanent stuff out that's going to stick around.
Yeah.
So.
And those are all foundational aspects that that go into all the big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the big tricks start with a good, solid foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you build a good foundation of body form and rope handling, it's
fit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've always been, whenever anyone comes out with me, they've reached out with me to teach them kneeboarding. Always let's do the fundamentals and less work with just jumping the wake, being strong at it, getting that pop, feeling that pop, landing backwards, riding backwards, so that when you start doing your tricks, if you do tend to maybe feel like you're going to pull out or something, you've got those basics to pull back through, but you need those basics.
Absolutely.
The basics are important. Actually, just taught someone probably like a month ago. They're asking like, "Oh, how do you do an invert front?" And I was like, "Well, you got a back roll, right? What about your wake front?" He's like, and I said, "Let's work on that."
Yeah.
And then we're like, "Yeah, we need to work on that first."
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that like a lot of Tom was mentioning earlier. I think a lot of kids might see like what we're doing, like all these flips and twists and all that stuff, and they're just like, it's just too far for them. It's too far out of their reach. It's just like, oh, that will never happen. So I think it's very important that we're taking steps towards them to be like, okay, this is how you make those small steps towards where, what Tom's doing, or what you're doing, or what, Ted was doing, back in the day.
Yeah. Whenever I try and get a beginner up, I've got the beach across from my place. You might have seen it. I always take them across onto the beach. I get the handle. It's not connected to the boat. It's probably 2 meters length, and I teach them to get up onto their knees. And that's just me running backwards, just so they can get that feel. They don't have to hear the V8 sound or get flabbergasted by the boat. And usually once they get up like that, I get straight behind the boat, and it's usually first pop. So it's definitely starting with the easy first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it all begins. And you guys, just a little while ago, we were asking what the topic was, where is this going?
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more proud of the three of you, because you guys are the leaders of the sport. You guys are the ones that are sharing the stove, putting all the media out there, and you guys are just doing an awesome job, and I'm just so proud of you guys. You guys just keep it up, all three of you. Just keep doing what you're doing, and the next wave of kneeboarders will come. They will come.
Yeah, they're coming already.
Oh, yeah.
Coming already.
Means
Humble to be on here with you guys.
Yeah, it means a lot, Ted. Definitely means a lot. That's for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see anything, Ted, what would you want to see in the next couple of years? Is there anything that you
What I'd
want
like to see?
Yeah.
Exactly what you're doing. Exactly what you're doing is just showing people out there what the sport is all about. What can be done? Just even the sunset shots of out on the river. Just the lifestyle.
What it is to be a kneeboarder as well.
Yeah, behind the boat, behind the cable. Tom with the family and getting the kids out there, just all around. You guys are just hitting all aspects of the lifestyle and what it's like. So I wouldn't say change anything. I'd just say keep doing what you're doing, and just know that you'll see when, like for me, the air assault, when that came out, it was like, yes, you will see something that will click, and you will know all those years of pushing media stuff out, that you'll know it's like, okay,
we've done it.
Yeah, it's happening. People get it.
Yeah. Happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really stoked for you guys, and like I said, just keep doing what you're doing.
Means a lot, Ted.
Thanks, Teddy.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Cool.
It's really good to see Jared, your mate, there too. Johnny putting some stuff out the last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jared Vision.
Yeah, really humble the way he does everything too, so it's really good to see that.
Oh, yeah. He's I'm really proud of all the work he's put in. Like, I used to do all his video work a day, and now I'm trying to hand that off to him. I've actually gone out and done a lot of work on it. Went out, got his own GoPro. Now he's got his own laptop, and now he's putting in the work. So, Jared, shout out to you. Good work.
Yeah, bro.
Before we go, do you want to do any shout outs or thank yous or anything, Adrian?
No, just thank yous to you guys for reaching out and getting me on. This is your second one, so to reach out and be the second guy on here with these guys is fantastic. Shout out to Teddy for everything you've done for me, and O'Brien. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you guys. And you guys sharing the stoke with me, good friends. Me and Tom chat a fair bit, It's really good to be able to do that across the globe, and yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Adrian. It means the world that you came on. You mean the world to kneeboarding and myself, and I think I can speak for everyone else as well. You've done a lot for all of us, and so thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here, guys. And hope we can do it again someday, eh?
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
John, you want to do your end out?
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching this podcast. Thank you guys so much. There's more podcasts on the YouTube channel. Well, also on Anchor, so feel free to check them out there. Anybody else have anything else to add before we go?
Like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Yes,
Do it.
definitely. All right.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.